for the average person, body weight training, what role do you think that plays as opposed to training with some sort of apparatus, whether that be, you know, barbell or whatever, but just body weight training versus sort of conventional or training with an apparatus?
Yeah, I think this is where the idea of our bodies being a vehicle that we are driving is very important to realize, and that the first thing you do in the morning and the last thing you do in the evening is get out of bed, get into bed. You're not using any equipment. Object manipulation, such as brushing your teeth or carrying your groceries or picking up a barbell or doing some pull-ups or trying to get over a wall, that happens later. So the more aware one becomes of how they move through space independently of manipulating an object or moving an object, the more proficient they become at then applying that ability to picking something up. And then when you put that in context of a function, for example, now we're starting to talk about adaptation, and that's where one gets creative and can now elicit specific adaptations depending on the desired outcome, or moreover, the needed outcome. And that's where most people aren't aware of what they need. But when they start paying attention to how they move, when they just move their bodies, they start to become aware of those things, and they go beyond their desires and into meeting their needs. And I think this is what you were talking about earlier, is that as a doctor and someone who practices medicine, medicine is the teaching of science, and doctoring is the teaching of a doctrine. But what we need, and this is something that is important in academia, is to do more research so we can expand on the doctrine and not allow there to be dogma. And this is the ever revolving door that we need to go through and be willing to go through. And I think that's where body weight exercise plays a role in our overall awareness and consciousness. And I think that's the beauty of it. And then you can apply it to whatever you want. It's once again, it's the basics, but it seems so easy to the able body that we don't pay attention to it until we either get hurt or we start to grow older and we feel aches and pains in places that we hadn't felt before, and we start to feel limited, or in other words, lack the freedom that we think we're worthy of.